Today, on Guess What I Found Out, you are afraid of the dark. Not the polite, socially acceptable kind where you just prefer a nightlight. The deep, chest-tightening, something is watching me kind. And before you dismiss that as irrational, Curious George, I want you to consider the possibility that your ancestors who weren't afraid of the dark got eaten, every single one of them. For over 1 million years, something was hunting us. Not occasionally, not as a last resort, as a specialty. Its name was Dinofelis, which loosely translates to terrible cat. And terrible is doing a lot of heavy lifting there, because this animal didn't just prey on early humans the way a lion might stumble across one. It evolved to hunt primates. Our ancestors were not an accident on the menu. We were the menu. Let's set the scene. 2 million years ago, your ancestor is Australopithecus africanus. You're roughly the size of a modern child, your brain is about 1/3 the size of yours today, and you are not at the top of the food chain. You are somewhere in the middle, and something has noticed. Dinofelis looked, at first glance, like a stocky jaguar. About 2.5 feet at the shoulder, up to 260 pounds, built like a wrestler rather than a sprinter. No long, elegant legs for chasing wildebeest across open plains. Instead, think thick bones, massive forearms, a neck like a battering ram, and a short tail that screamed grappler, not racer. This was not a cat that chased you. This was a cat that waited, grabbed, and did not let go. If this episode is making the hair on your arms stand up, you are welcome to follow Guess What I Found Out right now, because we have a whole library of things that will do exactly that. Now, here's the part that really separates Dinofelis from, your standard prehistoric nightmare. Its canines. Not the 8-inch, almost ridiculous theatre prop fangs of Smilodon, which honestly were fragile enough to shatter on bone. Dinofelis had these shorter, stouter, flattened canines, and paleontologists figured out what they were for when they found the skulls. They were designed to puncture and shatter the back of a primate skull. Not the throat, not the belly, the skull. One bite, instant. The animal didn't want to struggle, because it had already calculated that you were going to struggle, and it had evolved a solution. It could also climb. Your ancestors, they fled to trees and cliffs when predators appeared, which worked beautifully against lions and hyenas. Dinofelis, though, had the forearms for tree work. There was no up, there was no away, there was just the question of whether it had found you yet. The fossil evidence is not subtle. At Swartkrans Cave in South Africa, inside the cradle of humankind, researchers found hominid skulls with paired puncture marks. Oval, precise, spaced exactly right for Dinofelis canines, not leopards, not hyenas. C.K. Brain, one of the paleontologists who studied these sites, initially thought he was looking at early human kill sites. He wasn't. He was looking at the cat's dining room. One juvenile hominid skull, catalogued as SK54, carries the marks clearly. A child, an unfinished kill, which means something interrupted it. Possibly a group defense. Possibly the first recorded moment where humans fought back. The caves, by the way, were traps. Dinofelis was nocturnal, and here is where the cold evolutionary math really kicks in. Primates, including your ancestors, have no tapetum lucidum, which is the reflective layer behind a cat's retina that gives cats their glowing eyes and headlights look and their ability to function in near total darkness. Your ancestors were effectively blind at night. Dinofelis was not. Every evening, the playing field tilted catastrophically in one direction. Go ahead and drop your favorite fact from this video in the comments below, because I genuinely want to know which detail gets under your skin the most. Tribes woke up to missing members, regularly, for over 1 million years. And what happened to the ones who survived that pressure? They changed. Solitary individuals became snacks, so humans clumped together. Bands of 10 Homo habilis were harder to ambush than one. So cooperation stopped being optional. Communication evolved because you simply cannot coordinate a predator response in total silence. Fire, which we tend to romanticize as a cooking achievement, was almost certainly first and foremost a light source, a perimeter, a thing that broke the darkness that Dinofelis owned. The man-the-hunted hypothesis, developed by Hart and Sussman, flips the conventional story of human intelligence on its head. We didn't get smart because we were great hunters. We got smart because something was hunting us, and we couldn't afford to be slow, solitary, or unobservant. The survivors were the paranoid ones, the ones who heard a twig snap and ran, the ones who checked the shadows. Natural selection, delivered nightly by a 260-pound ambush predator, curated our species toward vigilance, language, social bonding, and fire. Dinofelis went extinct around 1.2 million years ago. The ice ages were shrinking the mixed forests it depended on for ambush cover, opening up savannas that favored faster, open-country predators like lions and hyenas. And by then, humans were becoming a genuine problem. Stealing kills, hunting the same prey, breeding in increasingly inconvenient numbers. But Dinofelis left something behind. It left it in you. The fear of the dark. The prickling certainty that something in the tree line is watching. The reason campfires feel like safety and not just warmth. That is not irrationality. That is an ancestral memory, 1 million years in the making, of a predator so consistent and so specialized that your entire species reorganized itself to survive it. You are afraid of the dark because the dark used to be fatal. And honestly, given what was in it, that was the correct response. If you want more stories about the things that made us who we are, subscribe to Guess What I Found Out. We'll be here, waiting for you in the dark.